Just to try to stay focused, don't never let anything, you know what I mean, try to get you off your game plan. Maybe this is the devil or something, you know what I mean, trying to
publicly. So now, a lot of people have something to say. Will the fight still go on? I have no idea. You get what I'm saying? Lamont Roach, you might need to make contingency plans.
I'll say the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent. When you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven.
After his recent arrest, Gervonta Davis has finally broken his silence, saying he's now refocused on his career. But with the Lamont Roach Jr. rematch hanging in the balance, fans are unsure what's coming next. Some believe Davis's fame makes him an easy target for accusations, but regardless of opinions, the impact on his career.
So this will be a violation of his probation, but he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, the question I have is this: you know, what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, you know, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Blood Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm going to show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcaster that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasters, right? Podcasts, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all this. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News, Boxing Superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up women.
Is very real. Nothing has been officially confirmed yet, but rising tension could put the Roach rematch in serious danger. The situation gets worse. Fans may have to face the reality that the fight may not happen at all. The future of Davis's next matchups remains uncertain. Ongoing legal issues are now casting doubt over both the potential fight with Jake Paul and the much-anticipated rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. So far, there have been no official cancellations, but the growing uncertainty is already causing concern among promoters, fans, and broadcasters.
Come at a worse time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of being assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcement. Why has there been no official announcement? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely, and the news today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. In what might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed a bit rattled and emotional after the draw, it's either a combination for a great performance.
High-profile boxing events rely on strict timing, logistics, and momentum. Legal trouble, no matter the outcome, can throw off the entire system behind these fights. Negotiations, training camps, and marketing campaigns are all carefully planned, and one delay can throw everything off balance. With every day that passes, the chances of seeing Davis return to the ring as scheduled seem to fade. The rematch with Roach holds extra weight. Their unfinished business from the first bout makes it a story fans want to see completed. On the other hand, the Jake Paul matchup represents a huge payday and a crossover event that could bring in a massive global audience.
Especially needed this rematch to be able to get that Jake Paul fight. The Jake fight was seemingly signed and sealed, and all he had to do was beat Roach. And after he didn't, it was pushed back until he could, with Jake in the meanwhile opting for Chavez. But Paul versus Tank is a fight that doesn't make too much sense on paper, but when you break down the circumstances around it, it kinda does make more sense. It would be another fight like Mayweather versus Logan. It's the biggest money fight and the biggest eye-drawing fight Tank can currently get. And for him, even with the size difference, he would probably see it as a pretty easy night's work. And with all this, before the news broke today, there was a rumour in about the last week going around that they might be potentially skipping the Roach rematch and going straight to Paul. I wouldn't be surprised if that's still...
Both fights matter for different reasons as the situation develops. Promoters are preparing for every possibility, from postponing dates to canceling fights entirely for Davis. The consequences go far beyond just missing a fight. A delay could slow down his career momentum, hurt his rankings, throw off his timing, and affect his overall sharpness. Everyone involved in the sport, from fans to broadcasters, is watching closely, waiting for clarity before these opportunities slip away. Adding to the uncertainty was a recent online exchange between Davis and Roach.
Gervonta Davis cancels the rematch with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach posted, laugh out loud, buddy, know damn well I don't mess around like that. He gassing y'all up to justify why he ain't do his part of the deal yet. He really might pull out of this fight. Stay tuned. Gervonta Davis responded with, you a beat. I can meet you at your school, son, if you want. That got nothing to do with boxing. We talking about the fight that's supposed to be happening, the rematch, you feel me? And he want to respond about meeting you up outside, meeting you up at your son's school. That's a little confusing, my people. So it makes me feel like this might be true. Like if it wasn't true, Gervonta Davis would have said, yo, what are you talking about? The fight's still on. You getting knocked out. Not start trying to talk street. You feel me, my people? Let me know how you feel about this. Do you think this is true? Do you feel like Lamont Roach is just letting the cat out the bag? Like, yo, my people, Gervonta Davis might pull out of the fight. He's gassing y'all up and trying to start outside beef. But this is the truth. And if Gervonta Davis wasn't going to call out the fight, then he would have said, yo, that's a lie. I'm knocking him out, my people. You feel me? And then after this, Gervonta Davis also posted, yo, y'all could take the #1 spot. I don't care for boxing no more, my people. Pretty much saying like, yo, take it, Lamont Roach, because the next person that's behind him is Lamont Roach, because Lamont Roach just had the draw with him that everybody feels like he beat him, you feel me? Like Gervonta Davis before this, he was untouchable. Everybody felt like he was unbeatable. Nobody was going to beat Gervonta Davis. Whoever got in there is getting knocked out. And now that all switched once he got that draw with Lamont Roach, you feel me? And after all this, Gervonta Davis also was saying like, yo, we know where you live. We'll pull up to your house. We know where you live in Marlboro. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, my people. Like if we talking boxing, let's keep it boxing. But he's talking street out of nowhere. And that's what makes me feel like, man,
Same energy when you get into that ring for this rematch with Lamont. Because I'm getting so tired of hearing about these DV charges you keep catching. So apparently Gervonta Davis has been arrested for another DV case. I think this is about his 3rd or 4th one now. Probably more than that. To be honest, this don't really shock me. Because y'all remember when he was dating Ari and they had got into a real bed and he pulled her wig off in the middle of the street, right? That incident was all over the internet. And fast forward, there was another incident that happened back in 2022 with another baby mama. Where she claims that she was in the car and things got really rough between them and she made a frantic call to 911, which she should not have made, she claims. And also said that Gervonta did not hurt her or her daughter. So why did you call the police? It's giving, I'm not mad no more, and at the end of the day, that's my baby daddy. So let me go ahead and scrap this up, clear up this rumor so nothing else goes any further with this. I really don't understand what be going on with men putting their hands on people. It's like, even if you want to give Gervonta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent, when you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a point. Don't you blow off enough steam in the ring? And this is really disappointing for Gervonta because it's like, do you want to throw away your career? You're literally #1 right now. You've been #1. You probably will stay #1 as long as you keep doing what you're doing. Because as many people as he done fought, it seemed like Lamont Roach was his only real competition. Rematch on the way, by the way. Really big fight. He got to be there for that. I don't know what he's going through, and maybe it's just me, but I do feel like ever since that fight with Lamont Roach, he been off lately. He ain't been on social media.
The back and forth on social media stirred up even more speculation. Roach came off confident, throwing out bold statements, while Davis's replies were short and vague to some fans. It looked like Davis was uninterested in stepping into the ring again. Others say his behavior reflects personal stress rather than hesitation.
16th, Lamont Roach, Tank Davis in Vegas. First and foremost, I've never seen somebody celebrate a draw so much in my entire life. My man went on a press tour saying he got the best version of Tank Tank has no power. He has minimum skills. And it just made it seem like he was a cakewalk almost. One thing we do know, we see a lot of Lamont Roach and very little Tank, which is telling me somebody locked in and somebody's not. Lamont need to worry about putting the beard down and getting in the gym. Because I haven't seen Tank since that fight ended, which lets me know he wants this rematch really, really bad, which means he's not coming to play around. Did he make a lot of mistakes in that last fight? Absolutely. Did he let you hang around too long? Absolutely. Did Lamont Roach show that he could take Tank's power? Absolutely. But we also know who looked like what at the end of the fight. If Tank shows up the same way he showed up in the last fight, Lamont, you may have a chance. 100%. If Tank actually turns on the heat in the beginning of the fight versus filling you out for the first 4 or 5 rounds, knockout in 6. But we're going to stay close to everything. We're going to watch some of the press runs and stuff like that. And we're going to see what type of Tank is going to show up. Because one thing we do know is he was very uninterested in this whole ordeal. But it was very, very bad on Tank's part to actually have somebody move up who we had no clue about to hang around. That is what made Tank look so bad. It wasn't the fact that he had a draw in the fashion that he did. It was the fact that he was really supposed to clean you up because we didn't know you. So congrats to you for doing what you did and showing up that night. But some of the stuff you've been saying, it's just been like, all right, bro, remember, it was a draw. It was a draw.
So again, I'm saying unfortunate news because Tank Davis is scheduled to fight. And he's scheduled to fight in 11 days. And it's almost midnight my time, Pacific Standard Time. So that means really 10 days. Does this affect in any way? Will this affect Tank Davis and his fight? You know, I don't know. I don't know all the details, but we've seen stuff like this happen before in the past. And since it's so fresh, today being December 27th, I don't think it will impact or, you know, postpone his fight or anything like that, because it'll be too quick to go to trial or anything like that. However, some would wonder, could this affect him mentally, right? You left Mayweather Promotions, you're your own boss, doing your own thing. So this is your first foray into that. You have a difficult Olympian in terms of Hector Luis Garcia that you're getting ready to fight, a little bit taller and bigger than you. And, you know, now you have something in the background. This, I can't say it's news to Gervonta Davis in terms of him having little run-ins because he...
Either way, public arguments like this shape how fans and analysts see a fighter's intentions. Supporters of Davis know he's going through one of the most intense periods of his career. As a top-level athlete, he's dealing with the pressure to stay in peak shape, meet expectations, and handle the spotlight, all while managing serious personal issues. Balancing competitive focus with emotional stability is hard for any fighter.
It's off, y'all. So Gervonta got arrested for allegedly smacking his baby mother. And they was like, this not the first time. Damn, my boy. Now, I don't know if the fight is really not going to happen. I'm just saying, if I was Gervonta, I would not even do this fight. Because this is just a distraction. Look at him, y'all. He don't even look focused. He look like he in a sunken place. He just looking like, damn, fuck. So he was arrested in Miami on July 11th. They said this little altercation that supposedly happened between him and his baby mother happened on June 15th, which was Father's Day. So they say Gervonta went to his ex-girlfriend's house to go pick up the kids. And when the kids got in the car, an argument happened, allegedly, between him and the baby mother. And he told her, hey, get these kids. And then when she proceeded to get the kids out the car, that's when she said he struck her in her face. Now, y'all, I don't know if he did it. I'm hoping he ain't do it. That's my boy. So she said after he did that to her, she had a minor cut on her lip from the incident. That shit crazy, fool. So what do y'all think? If it was you in this situation, how long you think he finna sit? And would you still do this boxing match that's supposed to happen on August? I'm just telling y'all, I don't know, bruh. He do not look like he focused. I don't want this man to get in that ring and then lose that, oh, Like, for sure, go in there and fuck around, get knocked out. I'm like, damn, bruh. But y'all let me know what y'all think.
But for Davis, the stakes right now couldn't be higher. Asterisk. The stakes are even higher now because of Davis's visibility and influence. Fans and boxing experts alike agree his emotional strength has to match his physical ability, especially during times like these. Many believe that if Davis doesn't find healthy ways to deal with stress and pressure, it could affect both his performance in the ring and the long-term stability of his career. There's hope that he'll take the right steps, whether that means seeking mentorship, getting professional counseling, or reshaping his inner circle to bring focus and control back into his life. No one questions his talent, but how he handles everything outside the ring. The noise, the pressure, the spotlight will determine whether he continues to rise or hits a roadblock at this point. A lot of people are rooting for him, hoping he channels all that energy in a positive direction and reestablishes himself as the focused, composed athlete they know he can be. The situation with Lamont Roach Jr. is about more than just a rematch. It's about closure. Their last fight ended in a controversial draw that split fans and experts down the middle. Since then, people have been calling for a second bout to settle the score once and for all. If Davis walks away now, risks leaving behind an unfinished chapter in an otherwise impressive career. He's already secured big wins and built a strong reputation, but that unresolved fight with Roach continues to hang over his legacy. A clear rematch would offer more than just a final result. It would bring closure for fans, and more importantly, reinforce Davis's place among the sport's elite.
Box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry. You know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy because he wants to soften up for his daughters and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not.
History shows that the greatest fighters finish their business in the ring, not outside of it. They face challenges head on, no matter how high the stakes or how messy the past. Davis still has that power. He has the skills, the platform, and the following to take back control of the story. Finishing what he started with Roach wouldn't just boost his record, it would remind the world that he doesn't back down when it matters most. And now, as he moves into what some are calling his healing era, fans are noticing a new side of him. He's no longer putting his energy into anger or distraction. He's stepping up and focusing on growth. And that's something worth celebrating. So, shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis for stepping into this new chapter with strength. Let's see where this path takes him. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned, and until next time, stay locked in.